Today, the CEO of crypto.com is speaking out for good reason, as he does have a massive announcement to share, which we talked to you guys about yesterday. The first CRO private ETF in the United States. And here is the tweet. He's very excited about it because after this conversation that we had yesterday about Canary Funds establishing this Canary Crow Trust, this was a big story if you're a CRO holder, and Chris is very excited about it. Now, I told you guys in my video yesterday, he hadn't tweeted about it yet. Of course, at some point he's going to. People are so excited about it. However, you do have some folks saying some interesting comments below. Here's Crypto West saying, it's crazy how Crow price never reflects off the bullish news, which is probably frustrating to some folks out there, and for very good reason. But when you really start to understand cryptocurrency, there is a altcoin season and there is a Bitcoin season. Right now, we're very much so in the Bitcoin season stretch of this crypto bull market. Why do I say that? Well, it's very simply seen on this Bitcoin dominance chart. As you see Bitcoin dominance continue to just climb up in its Bitcoin dominance bull market, it's going to be hard for altcoins to rally versus Bitcoin. Now, granted, some coins have performed well, and Crow even had some gains for us to take profit on. But we're waiting on these moves that I have circled here, where you start to see Bitcoin dominance fall versus the rest of the market. And that doesn't mean that Bitcoin's price is going down. That just means that money's starting to flow into altcoins. And what we need for that to happen is the Fed to cut the interest rate and a pursuit of risk on assets for investors in the traditional market and within the crypto market, which can really only come, historically at least, with these rate cuts, which have been difficult lately due to some of these other things going on like tariffs and inflation. But I have another big story for you today that could potentially be a bullish catalyst for Crow, which here's the price action going on for CRO right now. It's looking pretty decent. It's really rounded out here very, very sharply. That rounding out for this Crow price very much so reminds me of this scoop right here before we saw a very large move to the upside when Crow coin rallied a whopping 150%. We've seen moves like this before for Crow. It can happen very quickly for CRO, and this is something that I do want to keep an eye on with you guys. Can this next story that I want to share with you drive Crow up? It's very possible, as Bitcoin is actually exploding upwards today. Look at Bitcoin getting closer and closer to a new all-time high. Here are your previous highs for Bitcoin at 109K today. We're at 107,688, which is beautiful. Actually, right now, I'm doing a trade on Bitcoin. I am in a very beautiful trade right now. You can see I'm $571 in the profit on this trade, which is excellent. Very excited about that. Just got in at 105, currently at 107.5. I'm probably going to be closing out this trade as soon as I get out of this video, actually. But I did want to kind of hang on to this trade. I was going to close this trade out a few days ago, but I actually hung on to it for a while because I wanted to see if it would play out and kind of had some stop losses set a little lower. Now I've taken out those stop losses. If you want to do some trading, you could trade Crow, you could trade Bitcoin, and I feel quite bullish on the crypto space right now, and there's opportunities for shorts and for longs. You might see Bitcoin hit some resistance up at this previous high, so it's something to keep an eye on. Here's the big news today for crypto.com. The crypto.com exchange just acquired CYSEC, regulated broker, and plans to offer CFDs in Q3 of 2025. So they acquired a company called a Cyprus-based, all new investments to obtain the MIFID license to offer securities and derivatives across Europe. Okay, so this is big news for the EU, and crypto.com is now going to be able to continue to expand their product offering of securities and derivatives across Europe now, which is beautiful for this company. This brand continues to do more and more every single chance they get. We have this ETF news happening in the US. Now we've got good news in Europe where they've got securities and offering securities and derivatives across Europe. They're probably going to be offering banking services. Why do I say that? That is on their roadmap. That is what they plan on doing, and it's very exciting stuff. And as you see Bitcoin continuing to climb, this is something that makes me bullish on not just Bitcoin, but the entire crypto space. And if you're bummed out about the price action of CRO right now, I understand, right? But look at what we've seen before. When these prices start to scoop up, when Crocoin does explode, it pops off huge. And you cannot ignore that Bitcoin dominance has been outperforming the rest of this market. Bitcoin dominance shooting up shows you that, generally speaking, Bitcoin has been outperforming a majority of altcoins. Right now, Solana and Ethereum are down versus Bitcoin. Lately, Bitcoin's been rallying while altcoins, some of the strongest altcoins historically, have been struggling, and CRO is no exception to that, even with this excellent news that's going on right now for crypto.com. We continue to see it time and time again. They continue to expand their product offering. They continue to get new licensure approvals in a variety of countries across the globe. And I think that Crocoin easily hits $1 in this bull market. And one of the reasons guys, I believe that is because when you look at where CRO just previously was, if Crocoin goes back to its previous all-time high for market cap right now, that's a 7.92x, that's a 76-cent CRO. That's the previous high. I believe that in this bull market, it would be achievable to see a 2-3x or maybe even more over the previous high for crypto.com's Crocoin, because that's what we see in an altcoin season for good cryptocurrencies. Now, Crocoin has utility. It is the utility token for the Cronos chain. The Cronos chain, which has only ever existed since the very end of the last bull market, at the very peak of November of 2021, it launched, and then we went into a bear market, and Cronos never got a chance to grow, get more users, have excitement, have this rapid growth that you saw for Ethereum and Solana in the last bull market. But this bull market could be the one for crypto.com's Crocoin. And with all this news we've got stacking up right now, I feel pretty darn good about it. Again, if you guys want to do some trading and try to make some profits with us as we're trading XRP, Bitcoin, I've even got a Solana trade going right now that's up like $50 in the profit. You could sign up for Blowfin using our link in the description down below. Check it out if you want to, guys. It's super easy to sign up, and trading is one way to earn more funds for your holding portfolio in the long term so that you can continue to DCA. You take in your trading profits and you put in your DCA portfolio as you're winning, and boom, we can grow that stack of Bitcoin or whatever the coin is that you like out there. Maybe it's CRO. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. DCA HODL, my friends. Nothing here is financial advice. As always, we will keep the content coming, and I'll see you in the next one. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. Peace, guys.